Good morning, guys. Okay, the lighting is terrible, but it looks like we're gonna be barefaced at conference today because my eye is swollen, but I'm really excited. Hopefully I don't miss my train.
Those tears. He can take tears of sorrow and turn them into tears of joy.
And we see the will of God, and when we know the character of God, then you can pray with confidence. You can pray with boldness. The boldness that we have to enter the throne room of grace and to pray with strength over our friends and our family and our church and our relationships, that all has to be based upon knowing God's character, His promise, and what He has given to us. And without that, our prayers are without basis, without ground.
God, in the midst of all the darkness, in the midst of all the chaos, I want to find you. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what you're saying. I don't want to just speak a word. I want to speak an in-season word. I want to respond to how you want me to respond. I want to live how you want me to live. Is there anybody in the room that agrees with that? I want to be that kind of follower. Give him a shout. What did you and God already speak about? What did He already say to you? What did He say about the ministry? What did He say about the child? What did He say about the marriage? And why did you let go of it? You know what I find so amazing is that we'll let go of words from God. We'll forget what God says, but we have no problem remembering what the enemy says. And I tell you that if you believe, God says, all you need is a mustard seed side of faith. Just believe in me just enough, and I promise you, I will do it. Did I not tell you that if you believe, guess what? You will see the glory of God. You will see the glory of God. What have you allowed in your life that would have blocked you from seeing Jesus?
Even when the lights come, your word remains true. Even when my thoughts don't line up.
Be anxious about the things that are stressful, then I'm allowing what's around me to gain a foothold within me. But if I push into it from a position of peace, it cannot withstand something more powerful than peace. Peace is the ultimate weapon when fighting stress and anxiety and panic.
Hands on them, anoint them with oil. We've prayed for them for 9 years every day. And yet we still haven't seen a miracle. But the miracle is in motion. I've discovered that God is always working behind the scenes. I know those photos are quite evasive. I won't be afraid, 'cause you are here. You silence all my fear. I won't be afraid. You don't let go. Be still, my heart, and know.
Acclimate to their dysfunction. Rather than pray that God can change your climate, you just get used to being sick, and you've known it for so long, you think that's now you. If someone in here right now, they're like, well, I don't know if I can change. I think I've been this way for so long. What would you tell them?
I don't think suffering should ever be the norm. So I wouldn't say don't be content in your suffering. It's always okay to ask for help. That's what churches are here for. That's what doctors are here for. So it's okay to ask for help.
Somebody when I was just in a very confused place, and I think I was just allowing all these tensions in my life. If you imagine that everything in your life is an instrument, like so your marriage, there's a tune to that. If you have a family, if it's your ministry, if it's your calling, because sometimes our ministry and our calling don't feel like they're exactly the same thing. Like what we're doing doesn't feel like what we're called to do, and that's still part of it. So sometimes these discords start happening. It could be relationships with friends. It could be this feeling, and that tension, those two notes kind of not working together. Those tensions are things that I think rattle us, and we get really good in church because we turn up on Sunday, and especially when you do what I do, we just sing our way through it with a whole bunch of people all the time. But then when you go back to your wherever you find yourself, you're like, why is this? What's all this discord that's going on in my life? And I think what really helped me is because God sometimes, let's call it, if you want to call it depression, or call it whatever, when that cloud comes, it forces us to look inward, and that's dangerous. In one respect, it's also super healthy. It's what God needs us to do because He wants us to go, hang on, I can't hear the noise, I've lost perspective, I don't know what's going on, I've lost my passion, I've lost all these different things, and all of a sudden you go, you know what it is? It's because there's this discord here and there's this discord here, and I can actually practically fix these things by recognizing them and realizing, okay, I feel like I'm failing in this area. Why do I think I'm failing in this area? And approaching it one by one. And I went and saw a guy who was amazing. He said to me a couple of things, and one of the things he said for me personally, because I think he read my book, which I don't know physically because I haven't read, well, anyway. He read this metaphor. He told me that I wasn't crazy, and that was really, really helpful for me. Because the one thing I do know about being crazy is that if you're crazy, you probably don't know you are. So I wasn't sure. And awareness is a big one for me. It's like, I want to know, I just want to know. If I have something on my face, I need to know. Like if I have bad breath, I need to know. It's better to know. And it's not because you have to address it. But he said to me this other thing, he goes, for you, he goes, you're dancing with your shadow. and I was like, okay. And we live this life where we're kind of constantly projecting, and often it's our insecurities that we project from because it becomes a defense mechanism. And I realized that I'm in this place where I'm just trying to figure out this other side of who I am, and I'm struggling with that tension every single day. And he goes, but that's what God's called you to do. It's a battle that is unique to you, and you have to fight your way out of this. And in essence, like Jacob, you have to fight this thing and understand that what's going to help you is metaphor, music, song, story. And so I went to work on it. I just written songs that we'll probably never sing, but that just have been something that's God gave. I little did know when I started writing songs that it was going to be a weapon that God was going to give me in seasons down the road, not for everybody else, but for my relationship with God. And that's the goodness of God. And to me, that's where the promise is in the process. You've got to walk that thing out. And we get so focused and occupied on the other side because we believe that's where the promise is. But the promise, He walked out to us. And He walked out physically and spiritually, and He met us. And it wasn't our faith that got us to Him, even though we have to step out of the boat sometimes. It was the fact that He's good enough that when we fall, He catches us. And we end up right where we are. Jacob, when he wrestled the angel, even though he dislocated his hip, I just think about that picture of when you wrestle someone, it's about the most intimate thing. You can, well, there's a couple of things. You can call them wrestles too. But there is, when it comes to God, if God wants intimacy with us, think of it like this. In that tension, think of it, a wrestle, a tension, that conflict. Jacob is desperate. He wants a new name. He wants the promise. And he wrestles with God or with the angel. And And he's right there, he's as close as he can be. And same with Peter, in his moment of just utter desperation, he ended up with his face in the bosom of Jesus. And I use the word bosom, it just came out, but chest. That's right where God wants us to be. And so don't be afraid just to fall in hard, and let God's grace remind you of how faithful he is.
Job of referring to Abraham, and I think that the Bible and God allows us to have hope against hope. Hope is so audacious. Hope has this attitude that says, even though my circumstance says I shouldn't be hopeful, because I have God, I am hopeful. And so Abraham looked at his situation and said, even though it does not look hopeful for me, I still am going to rise up and have hope, because God is not a man that he would lie. God is not a man that he would change his mind. We believe that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so I want to encourage anybody, maybe your situation looks so bleak and so terrible, and the diagnosis is what it is. Maybe you are facing depression or anxiety. I want to say, let's be a church that gets filled with hope. Let's be people of hope, that we have hope in a good God, that Jesus is with us, he is for us, and he can do what only God can do. Amen to that? That's all I would say.
She is the best host in the entire world.
Okay. Yeah, we can establish that.
And we want you to know,
Yep.
look at the screen, where you looking at me?
Yeah, we can see.
That you are exceptional, you are loving, you are intelligent,
Yes.
you are selfless, you are astounding, you are beautiful, you are exquisite, you are trustworthy, you are and the original meaning of your name is God is my oath. You can't see it on the screen, but it's okay. And I want to make an oath of my own and split the rest of it.
And then going from here to your churches and to your homes and to your families and taking the spirit of
Paul. He's falsely imprisoned, falsely accused. He has no trial date set, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and there's so much he doesn't know about the outcome. But Paul's faith is not in the outcome. Paul's faith is in the God who is faithful in the process, no matter the outcome. The thing is, and he says that in every way, whatever people think, or whatever I have to suffer for it, and I'm not here yet, and I know you're not here yet, but he's our example saying, the important thing is, to me, that Christ is preached. And because of this, I rejoice. Because your joy is connected to your highest priority. And that's why your highest priority cannot be another person. And that's why your highest priority cannot be popularity. And that's why your highest priority cannot be pleasure. Because you can only get high so many times before it doesn't do it anymore. And whether it's high off of sex or substance or approval or validations or likes, whatever it is that's your drug of choice, I don't want to be chained to that. So Paul says, I feel the Spirit of God in this place, Paul. This is like the easiest atmosphere I've ever preached in my life. But I want to ruin it. I want to ruin it now. I want to tell you something. God's not the only one who offers you a choice. And the enemy sees your potential. No, you're not Paul, called to be the emissary of the gospel to the Western world. I get it. But like him, there's a calling on your life. And I was talking to one of the youth here at Hillsong, New York, named Ethan. And I wanted him to come up real quick because I wanted to show you something about
choosing your chains. See, why it's coming, I'll demonstrate. Since the enemy knows your potential, he comes along and offers you a choice. It could be a choice to become bitter, like Paul could have done. It could be a choice to stay in a relationship that continues to take you down paths, not where you're influencing them, but where they continue to suck the Christ life out of you. It can be choices related to certain things that we begin to depend on, because choices don't stay choices. It starts as a choice, and especially if you're young, like Ethan, before you know it, the choice becomes a habit. And so now you made the choice to get angry, but you make it enough times and it's no longer a choice that you're making, it becomes more ingrained, it becomes a pattern, a habit. And now you're just doing it. And this could go for everything from Oreos to pornography, to where it's not just one anymore. And now it's not just occasional anymore, because the enemy knows your potential. And if you get free, you're going to fulfill your calling. And you're going to break chains for generations. And something awesome is going to be unleashed in your life. And since the enemy comes with a choice, you don't see it for what it is. It becomes a habit. And if a habit is repeated long enough, it becomes automatic. And now it's no longer even conscious. This is just what I do. I just push people away. This is what I do. I just manipulate people. This is what I do. I just get selfish and I get my way, but then I'm all alone. Because the price of manipulation is loneliness. And now, what was once a choice, what I did occasionally, now has become a habit that I've done repeatedly. Now, it's become automatic. And like Paul said one time in Romans 7, he was like, the things I want to do, I don't do. The things I don't want to do, I do. How many can relate to this? I don't even like it anymore, but I do it. And I hate it, but I do it. It's just who I am. And the enemy wants you to think now this is your identity. He wants you to believe that it's not just what you do, it's who you are. Because I've noticed a lot of times the devil believes in our potential more than we do. And so he comes to us with a choice. The choice becomes a habit. The habit becomes automatic. And now you think it's who you are. Now you think it's your nature. I was like this. My mom was like this. My dad was like this. I've always been like this. I'll always be like this. I prayed for breakthrough last year at conference. And now he's got me in these chains. No, he doesn't come to you with a chain. He comes to you with a choice. Because if you saw it for what it was, you would run. If you saw it as the thing that was going to keep you from who you were destined to be, you would have run, but you didn't see it. You were 13. You didn't see it for what it was. If you had seen it for what it was, you would have done it differently, but you didn't know. He doesn't come with a chain. He comes with a choice. And once he's got you, give me your left arm. Just a choice became a habit. Now it's automatic. I preach it right to somebody, Ethan, and they feel shackled and ashamed, frustrated, like I feel in this illustration. And they didn't know it until it was seemingly too late. And it started with a choice. And now feels like change. So now Ethan started with a choice, turned into a habit, became automatic, thought it was who he was, and now later in life he tries to pursue Christ, but no, because I got you on this chain. And now he gets married and he wants to love his wife, but if he made a choice that became a habit, that became automatic, that he thinks it's who he is, that he's convinced it's his nature, if he's allowed that shame to placate his soul, he'll try to be intimate with a woman, but the moment he does and love a woman, the enemy says, no, I got you in this chain. And maybe God has a calling on his life for business, or NASA. He's wearing a NASA shirt. Maybe he's going to be an astronaut. I don't know about Ethan. I just met him 45 minutes ago. He looked smart with his glasses, but he was going to do something great. And so now he's going to do something great, and the enemy's got him on this chain. But the sad thing is, if you think this is a young and free message, you haven't been listening. Because so many people in this room tonight, and this is why I had to get here to preach to you, the devil has been dragging you around like this for decades. Chained to mindsets, and every once in a while, you go to make a break for it, Ethan. But you've learned to just go along with it because it hurts less if you just go along with it. See, when you try, he's fine as long as he doesn't try to go the other way. But watch when because I got him on this chain. And what I came to declare tonight over your life, from a prison cell in Rome, from a preacher named Paul, who said, I'm not chained to who I was. Paul called himself the chief of sinners, but I am not identified by who I was anymore, because if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old is gone, the new is come. So, I need you to get this message. I'm not chained to my mistakes. I'm not chained to my bad decisions. I'm not chained to my shame. I'm not chained to what people think I am who've known me for 43 years. I'm not chained to what I did when I was 16. I'm not chained to these Roman bars. If you want to know why I have a hope, and why I, in the midst of a dark situation and a dysfunctional self that I deal with on a daily basis, why I worship, and why I rejoice, and why I have hope, and why I know that I'm loved, and why I refuse to quit no matter what comes my way. I'm not chained to my past. I'm chained to grace. I found another chain. I thought you'd be excited.